Here are the facts. When you ask the residents that Trump is claiming to help, they say that they oppose it at a 79% rate. 61% of them feel less safe. When you ask them what they care about the most, it's not homicides, it's not carjackings, it's Trump's occupation of D.C. So the question then becomes, who are we helping here? Who are we helping here? The idea that public policy isn't meant to serve the public in D.C. is absolutely absurd when Trump was claiming he was helping the public. So the question that I really want to ask is, why don't we mobilize the National Guard to the 8 out of 10 red states that are the highest homicide states? If this decreases crime, and that's sufficient enough to mobilize the National Guard against the explicit will of the people of D.C., why is the National Guard not marching
people of D.C.? The law, he was already quoted.
I'm not talking about the law.
Hey everybody, Adam Mockler here. I just got off of CNN Newsnight with Abby Phillip, and you guys are going to enjoy this one. Make sure you watch until the end, because I debate MAGA Scott Jennings, I debate MAGA radio host Phil Williams, and it ends up being really satisfying. So stick around, make sure you drop a like, and make sure you subscribe to the Adam Mockler feed to stay up to date with breaking news and the debates. Thank you all so much.
Do you see really that this trolling of Trump and social media, which is doing gangbusters for Gavin Newsom's social media accounts, what's the pathway to actually bringing voters back to the Democratic Party? Because the internet is not real life. That is the truth. And I'm not sure I'm seeing Democrats understanding that.
Well, there's two parts to it. First, you have to drive the attention, then you drive the narrative. So right now, he's getting the attention piece in the attention economy, and he's doing it quite well. He's getting millions of views. I also don't agree that Obama's twisting himself in pretzels. I think it's a completely logical statement. Norms in a democracy work a lot like consent. You can't have meaningful consent when only one side is engaging in that, and you can't have meaningful norms when one side is engaging. So when Obama says, we're okay with temporary redistricting, that's what it is, temporary redistricting, proportional to what Texas is doing, I don't think that's very hypocritical. But when it comes to Newsom, get the attention, drive the narrative. That's what Democrats should do.
I think the Democrats are hemorrhaging voters because they've chosen all the wrong constituencies. They seem to care more about illegal aliens than American citizens, violent criminals than law-abiding citizens, and the Palestinian flag more than the American flag. And when you take those positions on things like that, people tend to run to the other party. And
is there one mainstream Democrat that said he likes illegal immigrants over?
And you know that's not necessarily.
Chris Van Hollen? There's one.
He met with Kilmer Armando Abrego Garcia, who was brought back to the United States. The administration conceded that he was sent there wrongfully, so Chris Van Hollen...
I mean, he's going down this road.
All right, Alexia.
You claim the Democrats like...
Hold on. As someone who does a lot of messaging in the Democratic Party, we do have a messaging issue. But the real thing here is that we have to go to these voters and talk to them about the pain that they are feeling before we bring the policy solution. Because we do have a policy solution. We just have to figure out a better way of listening to our voters. And I think we are in this crisis right now where we are forced to do that. And I do believe that Democrats can come back and gain these voters back.
President Trump dipping his toe in the socialism pool. Some of his recent moves have the government's hands firmly involved in a number of business dealings. For example, in an unusual move, NVIDIA has agreed to give 15% of its revenue from chips and chip sales to China to the United States government. And in June, Japan's Nippon Steel was allowed to buy out U.S. Steel, but only if the White House was granted a golden share that gives them extraordinary amounts of influence over a U.S. company. And Trump has even leveraged his tariff policy to demand investment in the United States. And just last week, he demanded Goldman Sachs replace its chief economist over their tariff predictions. And yesterday, Bloomberg reported that the administration is discussing taking a 10% share in Intel to help rescue the company. But if you think calling any of this socialism is a bridge too far, well, conservative Eric Erickson thinks that is exactly what it is.
Do you see the MAGA Republican, those prejudiced white men? They're not against socialism. They all for it. Donald Trump, as the president of the United States, is extorting companies, making the companies pay the government just to do business here. He just like Gaddafi. He just like Putin. He just like Saddam Hussein. What's the difference? On our part, he don't want to give government money to minorities. He don't want to give government money to black and brown people. But he have no problem with socialism when he help his rich prejudiced buddies and his family. That is against the Constitution. That's against the Constitution. A company in America should not be extorted just because they want to do business with another country. See, that's why the Republicans are a hypocrite. They are finally exposed for all their lies and all their racism. It's sin. See, that's what social media did. So social media exposed all the things that those prejudiced white men used to be, that they used to do it in the dark. You know, if you was in the jail, they'll take you in the elevator, and then they'll stop the elevator in between the floors, and then they'll beat the man up. Then what the KKK used to do, because most of the KKK, it was mayors, it was governors, it was police chief. See, all those people, and then to cover it up, and for people not to know who's doing it, they'll put the hood on their head. The hood was to cover your governor's face. The hood was to cover your attorney general's face. And then you'll go out there and you'll go to church on Sunday morning and you'll praise Jesus. And then at night, then through the day, you'll be the police chief, or you'll be the mayor, or you'll be the governor. And then as soon as dark comes, you'll go put on your hood and show your true colors. But you didn't want to show your face. See, a lot of things that people put on black and brown people and try to make black and brown people and black to be evil, it's the very one that put on that white robe. See, they looking at white is purity. White gets you into heaven. White gets you to get a great company. Black gets you to go to hell. See, that's what those no good, prejudiced white men are. They treat their woman like animal. Instead of treating their wife like their partner, they treat their wife like it's a business arrangement. They ain't nothing but hypocrite. See, now, God can raise us up, black and brown people. God can raise us up now. Social media has showed everybody around the world that for 400 years, these black people wasn't lying. Those prejudiced white people, it's exactly what the black people told you they were. Look at that smug Scott Jennings. Now see, a lot of black people back in the day, like he talking on CNN with Abby Phillips, the way he's sitting up there all smug and everything. See, even if a black person know that they can be hung or they can be burned at the stake or their private parts got cut off and put in their mouth. See, back then, a black man with Scott Jennings sitting up there with his smug laugh, a black man knowing that he could be killed, he could be hung, or he could be burned at the stake, or his private part could be cut off and put in his mouth. That black man still would have knocked all his teeth out. Because anybody that tried to disrespect another human being, anybody that want to put their foot around another human being's neck, that man deserved to get his teeth knocked out. I'm not saying that we should go out and commit violence. No, I'm saying that white man, he go behind your back and he tell all them lies to his family and his friends and to the church. Like black people is so bad and black people is so evil when he really the devil himself. All he is a wolf in sheep clothing. See, that's the way the con works. See, you go out there and you make a narrative that will show how evil blacks is. So you go by night and everything, and you drag them all out the house, and you burn a cross in their yard, and you won't let them in the restaurant. You beat them as they drink out the water fountain, and everybody know, no matter how scared a dog is, no matter how scared a dog is, or how mild-mannered a dog is, if you keep on kicking that dog, that dog is gonna bite you. If you keep on dragging these Mexicans out of these cars and throwing them on the ground, after a while, they're gonna bite you. After a while, they're gonna fight back because they think that they can go to prison in another country for the rest of their life. So the best chance for them is to take whoever is doing them wrong, take them down. You just can't keep stepping on people and not let the people retaliate, because they will, because they have the same rights under the Constitution that you do. The Constitution says I don't have to let nobody beat me. I do not, and neither do God. I don't have to let nobody mistreat me. The Constitution says that, and so do God. I don't have to let somebody come after me with a gun and not get a gun myself. My body is going to automatically defend itself. If anybody try to abuse my children, I'm going to attack. If I got a wife and anybody try to abuse my wife, anybody, I'm going to act. If anyone trying to take my car and they know they don't have no right to, I'm going to act. If someone tried to deny me the rights under the Constitution, the freedom to speak, the freedom of the press, the freedom of the religion, the freedom to assemble, and the freedom to attack my government, anybody come at me in that matter, trying to attack me, trying to attack my rights, I got every right to put them down. If you got a dog that's your pet, and a dog go out and get bit by a rabbit that got rabies, and that dog start foaming at the mouth, no matter how much you love that dog, and how generous you are, when that dog come at you with rabies and that's man's best friend, you're gonna put it down. That's the way it works. Donald Trump is just like, and Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi, they got rabies right now. They're coming after black and brown people without a call. Slipping into the country is not a prison offense. We supposed to have compassion upon the stranger. We supposed to have compassion on the downtrodden and the hungry and they that's thirsty and they that don't have no place to stay. They got the rabies. They're coming after black and brown people without a cause. So that means they got rabies. They are attacking American people. They got the same rights under the Constitution. And they using the black and brown people money to do it. Now, what would you do? You would do the same thing I would do. I'm an ordained minister. I'm an associate minister in a church. And if you come at me like that, I'm going to put you down. Because God and the Constitution give me the permission. My house is my castle. If you come across that threshold of my door without my permission, I'm going to put you down. Because that's what the Constitution says. And that's what the law said. And that's what Jesus Christ said. How can you enter into a strong man's house? Except first you got to bind the strong man. Now, see, we're not supposed to let people cross the threshold of your door that's not invited. Not even a cop. If a cop comes to the door and he want to come in, he got to have a search warrant. If he comes to my door and tell me he want to come into my house, I'm going to ask him, do he got a search warrant? If he say no, I'm just going to close my door and go on back in my house. Not even a cop without legal rights cross my threshold. If he or she crosses my threshold as a cop and she disobeying the law, once she disobeys the law or he disobeys the law, he's no longer a cop. He's a perpetrator. And every right under the Constitution and God, we can put that perpetrator down. My home is my castle. America, Washington, D.C. You're the only state in the United States. I know they call you a commonwealth, but you're actually a state. You're the only state in the United States that is the majority of the people that live there look like you. They black. Donald Trump is trying to take over Washington, D.C. He ain't planning on leaving office. He planning on taking Air Force One with him. And he building this $200 million ballroom onto the White House, which the American people did not give him permission to do. If you want to add on to the White House, put it on the ballot and let the American people vote on it. And I guarantee you, we're not going to vote for it. The White House is historic. It was built by slaves. It needs to stay just like it is. I know it needs upgrade, but the future of the White House and everything need to stay just like it is. But Donald Trump don't care nothing about what black and brown people think about what should be done with the White House. Why is it that every state out of the 50 states has got 2 senators? And they got a governor. Now, lieutenant governor. Why is it that the only state that's a majority black, that we can have our own National Guard, we can elect our own governor, we can send our own 2 senators to Washington, D.C., and those prejudiced white men deny it to us, just like they deny it to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rican citizens are all Americans. Everyone that's born in Puerto Rico is an American citizen. But you want the most same prejudiced white men is denying Puerto Rico to be a state. So if you add Washington, D.C., and then you add Puerto Rico, the black and brown people is more than the majority. Let me say this again. Let me show you how that prejudiced white man is in 2025. Washington, D.C. need to be a state so it can have the same rights the National Guard control, the governor and lieutenant governor, and 2 United States senators and their representatives. That's denied them because of those prejudiced white men. Puerto Rico is the territory of America. Everyone that's born in Puerto Rico is an American citizen. They don't have to try to become American citizens. They don't have to try to get a green card. They are American citizens. That prejudiced white man is refusing to make those 2 black and brown majority states a state. That's violation of the Constitution. We supposed to have the same rights under the Constitution as everybody else. Puerto Rico needs to get statehood. Washington, D.C. need to get statehood. And when that happens, that prejudiced white man knows this. The black and brown people, we are the majority. You just put Washington, D.C. where it needs to be and put Puerto Rico where it needs to be. We are the majority by a large number. Don't let nobody lie to you. All the biggest states in the United States, mostly except for Texas, Texas could be in the majority hand too. They just ain't got the courage to stand up yet. But they already got the people power. Texas is already in minority, it's the majority. All we got to do is come together. God has already delivered us. All we got to do is walk out of Egypt. All we got to do is walk out of Egypt. We don't need to use violence. We already have the numbers. All we have to do is demand that Puerto Rico become a state. That's 2 United States senators. That Washington, D.C. become a state. That's 2 governors and that's 2 lieutenant governors. See, we are sick and tired of white prejudiced men going around acting like black people is something bad. Like black people is something to look down on. No more. God is raised us up. He done exposed the wickedness that's in those prejudiced white man's heart and in their mind and in their soul. God gave these wicked people 400 years in this what we call America to change their ways. And they would not. Now God can raise us up. All we got to do is stand up. Don't do no criminal activity. Everything that you do, you make legal. You form a legal militia. You raise up some leaders that are gonna look out for the black and brown people. We save our money, and when the United States economy collapsed, that we can go in and buy all that land that God have meant for everybody to have, and we distribute that land evenly among people, so everybody have a piece of land. I done drove all the way across this country in my lifetime to get here probably a couple of 100 times. There is so much land that just laying out there. I mean, sometimes when you're on the freeway, like going here to California, you get to a spot, you can drive for hours and hours and hours and don't see a house. There is so much property that just laying there. The federal government owns so many millions and millions and millions of acres of property that they just got land now. Instead of helping the poor and the downtrodden, they want to let that land lay there so they can help the rich corporations get richer, like putting us in a cage. God said no more. God said no more. As long as you ain't breaking no law, as long as you respecting the Constitution, anybody that break the laws and go against the Constitution without a cause, the Bible tell us, Jesus tell us, and the Constitution tell us that you have every right to protect your property, your home, your family, and your friends, your community, your towns and your cities and your states. You got every right to protect them from anybody that's coming against, that's breaking the law, or breaking the Constitution. You have every right to stop them. And the Constitution said you have every right to stop them from breaking the Constitution and breaking the law by any means necessary. That's what it says in the Constitution, even unto war. If someone is breaking the laws and someone is not upholding the Constitution, foreign or domestic, the Bible tell you, God tell you, the Constitution tell you, and Jesus tell you, you have every right to put a stop to it. Just get ready, just in case this comes. The Bible tell you, in the last days, perilous time shall come. The Bible tell you that men is going to become lovers of themselves more than lovers of God. And the Bible said when that comes, when that happens, turn away. You have every right under the Constitution to stop them at any means necessary, even unto war. Thank you.